Welcome, everybody, to Astrology Unplugged. I'm Rick DiClemente, and we're going to continue with our work that we've been doing recently, that I've been doing recently, on people being stuck. And I got a lot to say about that tonight. Taking charts of people that are stuck and trying to get them unstuck. Okay. So this is an astrology show, and we're doing a lot of individual charts. And sometimes it's really helpful to take a one chart and go for 90 minutes with it, as opposed to other weeks where we do 10 minutes each. So we need all those different kinds. But tonight we'll be getting to a woman who is claiming that she is stuck, and we're going to see what that means. One of the things I want to say, and I want to go back to last week's Teresa, being stuck is completely different than knowing what your direction is. Now, a lot of people say they're stuck, and what they really mean is they don't know where to go. And when a lot of people say they don't know where to go, what they really mean there is they want to know where to go for certainty with a signed slip that is going to work. And they're going to get there, and they're going to know what it's like before they get there. And when they get there, it's going to be exactly like they expected, and it's going to work out. So now you can see about 5 reasons why it doesn't work. So we're going to talk about that. I get a lot of people saying they're stuck. Now, I want to go back to last week, just for a few minutes, asking Teresa to unmute. And I think it does help to see a person who was read for last week and ask Teresa, because a lot of times when I'm reading live, it's really overwhelming to the readee, and it's not to me because I do it so much. And I think it's sometimes good to see how it filters down after a week. And what's on your mind, Teresa? How did your reading work out? It's the one that's the last up on YouTube.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you were just right on, so accurate with, what has been my life these past decades. And I think that the most important thing is that you validated a lot of that for me. And I feel more confident that I'm going in a direction that will help me to feel more connected.
Well, I think that's exactly right. And what's so good about your chart happened to show 2 pillars to your personality. One, I just watched a few minutes ago, one that was loosey-goosey, I want to do what I want. And the other pillar in your chart was very rigid from past lives. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Well, when you don't know what's going on and you see these 2 polarities in your mind, you feel like you're crazy.
Right.
What's wrong with me? And when I study the past life, etc., what I see is they're not wrong. They're just both there. It's like having 2 kids, and one kid's real studious, and other times he's a real goof off. And it's the same kid. So it's not our job to judge you, but it is your job to understand these pieces. And like I say, and I've told you many times, if you zoom back far enough and get a wide angle view of your lifetime, this part of you that wants to run free, the Sag part, and this part of you that wants to do things by the book are the same part. It's not always easy to see that. Because why is the part running free? Because it wants to explore and enjoy life. Well, why is the part doing things X, Y, Z, A, B, C? Because they want things to be accurate and down to the letter so that they can enjoy life, because the ducks have to be in a row. So they're both about enjoying life.
Right.
Now, that's one of the good things about an astrologer. The really best thing is that we can validate it. And I always tell people I do 3 things. I send them home. I try to send them home with a different viewpoint of themselves, because we have quite a tendency to see ourselves so negatively. 2 is I validate people. If you were on the wrong track, I'd tell you, but you're not. You're on the right track. And that's a good sign. And most people today are on the right track. In the old days, they weren't. People are more aware now. They got more tools. They got better TV programs in terms of consciousness. They got better books. They're doing meditation. They're doing yoga. People are sharper. They're smarter, more acutely aware. The third thing I do at certain times is I pass out diplomas. So here's yours from last week.
Well, can I say something?
Yes, of course.
I think that what your reading did for me last week as well is to point out some of these things, like you just said, that I wasn't even aware of them.
Right.
Some of the things that you said,
Right.
it's hard to see yourself.
Right.
And when you have somebody else telling you, and nobody's ever said these things that you have said to me before about the two polarities with me. That really helps me to understand why my life probably went the way it did, because
That's right.
it was very hard for me to make decisions in life.
Well,
because I was always
that's
seeing
correct.
opposites.
Well, and that's what I keep harping about astrology should be taught K through 12, real astrology, not the junk. In terms of, and when I'm working at your archetypal level, it just has to be true.
Mhm.
I'm down there messing with the seeds way down at the bottom. It has to be true. I'm not sure how it manifests all the time, but if I'm describing these major shoots in your plant, you're going to see them because you've been living by them. And the hard part for you is living with them and you think something's weird. You think something's wrong.
Right.
This part comes out, then that part comes out, and you go, "Where there it goes again." And I must because I'm unstable, and we tend to be very negative. It must be some junk my mom taught me. Maybe it was the junk in the family, and we beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
And they're all just different methodologies that we use through our past lives to try to get back to God. Because
Right.
that's the only thing there is. Well, I'm very happy for you, Teresa, and we will talk some more. And I'm really glad that worked for you. And I thank you for your nice words.
Yeah. Well, thank you for, shining the light on some things for me too. That it's really helped me. I feel a lot better.
Wow, very, very, very good. Now on to Tracy. Tracy, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. We're going to get into your chart. And there are people in this. Oh, hello there, Michelle. Nice to see you. There are people in here who have a lot of astrology experience. There are people that have a light amount. So we're going to explain the chart clearly. Tracy and I go back about 12 years, I think. I read for her in my office at the time. She's a Pittsburgher. And let's put her chart on the screen. I would like to, before I do put that on the screen, I would like to ask you, Tracy, I know we talked several times in the past few months. What do you mean by you feeling stuck?
I am not making any forward progress in my career, in my personal growth. My family, I've just had enough of certain things in my family. I'm just sort of fed up and have no, I don't have any initiative to go out and do it, whatever it is.
Okay, now it's very good. Now I'm going to say a couple of things right away. The planets are hitting you really hard right now, and the planets are hitting everybody hard, but not everybody's chart is being hit hard, but the planets themselves are just really difficult right now, and your chart is being hit hard. And what I've learned clearly in the past several years, when your chart's being hit hard, it means you're ready. You would not be on this show if you weren't ready. You just wouldn't be. And I don't know why, but that's how the Holy Spirit does it.
I agree. I'm
And
ready.
there's no doubt in my mind. Now, you're going to learn a lot tonight, and I'm going to take my time. Let's go to your chart.
Okay.
You're currently working with real estate. You're not married, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Here's Tracy's chart. We get it on your screen. All right. So we see we have a Leo personality with Neptune rising. And this Neptune is really powerful because it's close to the ascendant. So you're very, very Piscean because Neptune rules Pisces. Even though you have Scorpio rising, you've got the Neptune. Any planet that's close to this line on either side is very strong. So you have a lot of Pisces traits. Your moon is in Capricorn. All right. Now, we know what Leo is like. Leo's near the Leo midheaven. Leo's next to Uranus and Venus and Pluto. And Leo people are very, very good at being creative. They're really, really good at decorating houses, at doing feng shui, at being creative. And their houses aren't timid little things. They have big flowers everywhere, and they're just big people. They're ruled by the sun. They're big. They're expressive. Now, your Leo traits are very strong, but it changes a lot when the moon is in Capricorn, because the moon in Capricorn is very cautious, non-demonstrative. It is very careful, not colorful, browns and greens. And the Neptune rising makes you very spiritual and very hard to understand, not only of people to understand, but you to understand. Neptune, when people have Neptune rising, they can't see life clearly. And the reason they can't see life clearly is not because they're deluded, it's because they're so big. That's what's wrong with your chart. There's nothing wrong, but the problem in your chart is you're too big. And when you're big, Neptune-wise, you're boundless. Boundless is a big deal. Big, no boundaries. What a moon in Capricorn can't stand that. The moon in Capricorn is all about very careful boundaries. This is we eat at 5 o'clock, not at 5:05, and I go to work at 6:30, and I take the bus, and everything is planned. And it's the moon's what you're comfortable with. So here you are comfortable with all these rigid staying inside the box, and the Neptune wants nothing to do with it. Secondly, this is really, really true. Neptune people, there's several problems with Neptune people. There's a great beauty to Neptune people. She's so big, and they're just so divine, and you reach inside of them and you can't even find them. Where are you? Because they're just everywhere. They're like reaching into the ocean. Put your fist into the ocean. Try to grab it. You can't. But Neptune people have several difficulties. One, they cannot stand being defined. They can't stand it. Somebody says, well, Tracy's this way, and she does that, and sometimes she's this way, sometimes she's that way, and there ain't no way you're going to accept what they say. You're just not going to do it, even if you wrote the definition. Neptune people will not be defined because they know they're naturally much bigger than this. Now, what the real story comes down to in this chart is you're a very advanced soul. You don't have very advanced Neptune energies unless you can handle it. And Neptune is the ruler of the most advanced sign there is, which is Pisces. Even though it's hard to be a Pisces. And we're getting into talking about why Pisces are boundless and why they say things like it doesn't matter and why every Pisces you talk to loves dolphins. They love the ocean. They love to float in the water. They love the boundlessness of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got the Leo need enforced by the sun to be creative and keep that fire burning, fix fire. And you got the Neptune, which really could care less if your fire's burning. Because Neptune only cares about the one big ocean. There's only one big ocean, then we're all in it. That's Neptune. So Neptune can be confusing. The third thing that we're going to talk about later on, I'm going to mention it now, but we're going to talk about it. In the zodiac, every sign has a trap. It has a pitfall. Some are worse than others. And the Leo pitfall can be considerable. And that's the Leo part that you see with Trump, even though Trump's a Gemini, but he's Leo so strong. And here's where that comes from, Tracy. When you're born as a Leo, you are given the gift of confidence. You know what you're talking about. It's not them. It's not you. It's them. De Niro gets in front of the mirror and he's doing that scene in, what is it, Taxi Driver? You talking to me? Yeah, you ain't talking to me. You talking to me? You have a really strong sense of self. And that's the gift that Leo is given, that gift of confidence. And the problem with Leo confidence is this. If you don't want it, there's a fine line between Leo becoming confident and Leo putting other people down. Very dangerous. Now, I've known you for quite a while, and I've never sensed that part of you, but you would have more of a tendency towards that if it weren't for your Neptune. Because Neptune's very loving and it's very accepting of people. So we see with that Neptune rising that it makes things fuzzy, that you're identified with being boundless, that when you're defined, you're not going to accept it, even if it's right, because you know you're bigger than that. And the Leo tendency to dominate another. Now, what I think is happening now, and I'm going to stop with you for a second, because Liza and I have been talking, and we've both been feeling this independently, and we're seeing it. Everybody's getting it now. Everybody's getting it. Look around you.
I know.
This is because of Pluto and Eris. And what that means is all the outstanding issues that you've had for a long time are now up again. They're at the Supreme Court on the desk. This is because of Pluto and Eris. You're seeing it with the church in France and 200,000 people being abused. You're seeing it in the army with people being raped. You're seeing it in the schools. You're seeing it in health. You're seeing it at the doctors. You're seeing it everywhere. And in the individual charts, you all know your friends. You know your friends and your family. You know with a certain friend that this person has been dodging dealing with this, and this person has been doing pretty good dealing with that, and this other person is trying to put this off. And what's happening with everybody? People are doing really well where they've been dealing with their stuff. And people are not doing well that have not been dealing with the stuff. And that stuff being pushed to the forefront. Okay, do you understand?
Absolutely.
Okay, now that's what's happening with you, but the fact that you're on this show and you're being addressed, you're not being addressed by me, you're being addressed by the addresser, whoever the one is that addresses these things. It's time for your chart to be exposed mainly to you, just like Teresa was to herself last week. So we're going to start into your pieces now. Take a look here. In your chart, this Leo stuff is somebody who's very, very confident and very, very independent out in the world. Okay, showing things, doing things creatively, very much. You say you're going to do it, and you go and you do it. The Mars and Gemini here. See this T-square? The T-square is a black triangle, and all the energy points towards one planet. Okay, so this Mars is really strong, and Mars in Gemini means that you're a jack of all trades. You could do this, you could do that, maybe even do three things at once. You're just really good at that. It's not a Leo trait, it's a Mars trait. It's a Gemini trait, actually. Okay, stick with me.
I'm with you.
Down at the bottom of the chart, in your mind, this is the house of your mind. This is like opening your head up and taking a look at what's the software look like inside. And this stuff's very careful. You're running very old, careful software because it always gets the job done. You're sure it's going to work, and you keep running it. Even if it's not working for you, you keep running this old stuff. And you're very much in need of a software update. And look at your moon. Your moon's sitting almost at 24. Your moon's almost at 24. Where's Pluto now? Pluto's at 24 Capricorn. Pluto's exactly on that moon. Exactly. Once every 253 years. It's sitting right there. And Eris is sitting at 24 over here, making a right angle. So that moon's being bombarded. Now, translation of that's very difficult, but the main translation of it is you are not comfortable. And what the planets are doing now is they allowed you to slip by and slip by and slip by, but now they're saying to you, no, I'm taking all your comfort away until you solve this problem. And the planets aren't doing it. It's your insides. Pluto is that part of you deep inside that's so passionate. And it feels strongly. And that part of you just can't stand it anymore. It wants this stuff solved. Now, when we talk about what's the it solved, we talk about the family. We talk about where did all that conservative thinking come from? We're going to see a lot of it came from the past life. See, when I do that, I think I'm hiding. Like a cat, I'm hiding over here. So this planet's being bombarded, and it's the perfect time for it. A year ago wouldn't have been it. Last week would not have been it. Now it's the time. And recently, in the past 5 weeks, Pluto was here and Eris was here, and they were both just hitting this so intensely that you probably thought you're losing your mind. Now, coincidentally, the moon rules the breasts. It also rules the stomach. Did you have any difficulty in your stomach area?
Digestive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did have, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty common with Pluto around. Did you have anything in the theme of this? Going down the basement, I've been avoiding, but I got to go down the basement. You go down, you just see this mess that you can't avoid anymore. And you gotta update it. Do you have anything like that going on?
You mean like physically cleaning out the garage?
Yeah.
I just cleaned out a storage room yesterday.
Yeah.
With all my tools.
Well, Liza and I talk about it. We see it all the time. The number one thing you see with people under Pluto transits is they clean out their basement. And I mean, every inch of it, all of it, to clean it out. And that's symbolic of you can't stand the heart being dirty anymore. You can't stand it because Pluto is very pure. It's very pure. It wants you to live a pure, strong life. It's knight-like with his lance up on his horse. It's very noble and it's very strong and powerful. And it just can't stand any weak excuses. It can't stand it. So if you've been giving yourself any weak excuses in the past couple of months, it ain't flying anymore. And it's not that it's not flying with Pluto. It's not flying with the Pluto inside.
Right.
Because the Pluto inside is done with it. These are the words you used in the beginning. You're just tired of it. Now, there's a good chance that you'll stay with realty. There's a good chance that you'll get out. It's not written in the stars which way you're going to go, but what's going to happen is you're going to be driven to do something more important. Now, I don't know if that's going to exist in the realty world or not, but driven to be of importance, do something significant, especially with the world and the shape that it's in. So what do you feel like doing?
Actually, like I love Habitat for Humanity. Like I did some volunteer work for them years ago, and maybe I'll do that because that's my passion is buildings and
Okay, when you build for people, and I know that's what the president Carter did for so long, still is. What is it that gives you the thrill?
Just the creating of it, the hammer, the nails, the raising walls, the painting, the pride. Yeah.
That's all perfect Leo words. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now, why have you not done it?
Because I'm stuck.
No, we're not going to use that excuse. Why have you not traded in your realty tools and gone? And I'm sure you could find work with them. Why have you not done it? I'm not judging. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Why have you not done it?
Probably fear.
Okay. Fear of what?
Not being good enough, not excelling, not, I don't know. I've never been a joiner, like a group joiner kind of person.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to your birth chart. The moon in Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn. If I've discovered anything being a double Capricorn, my ex-wife was a Capricorn. My father was a Capricorn. I know a little bit about Capricorn. The problem with Capricorn is not because the Saturn has a damn ice ring around it, like so many false authors. The problem with Capricorn and Saturn is that you're trying to make sure all the time. That's what Capricorn does. It makes sure. Leo doesn't try to make sure. Leo is boom, boom, it's a fireworks off. Yeah, it's going to be great. Look at that big swaths of red paint, green paint. But Capricorn gets you very carefully inside the box, carefully. You see, and you have just like we talked to Teresa, you have these two different themes in you. One is just wailing away with that brush, and the other way trying to move very carefully. In your Leo, stuff can't stand it. Hold on, we're not near a solution yet. But that's two of your main pillars. I'm not sure if it's your two main ones, but there's two of them. Okay. And remember, Neptune's really dominant. Neptune doesn't care how you do it, as long as we end up in the ocean. Because nothing matters to Pisces. Nothing matters because nothing matters. How come it doesn't? Because it doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because Neptune does not differentiate. It's so big. What's the matter? Nothing could be the matter if you're everything. How can anything matter? So, let's take your birth chart. Now, I've not done this with you because I haven't seen you so long, but this is what I've developed in the past 5 years or so. I find out the significant parts of the birth chart. What really stands out? Well, this big clump, this stellium of Leo planets at the top. This is somebody who's very public. They're out there in the public. They're noticed, they're seen, they're applauded. This Neptune is very spiritual. And then these very careful mind workings, careful software loaded in the head. Why is that? Then notice also here, this is really a pretty big bucket, and here's your handle at the tip of a T-square. Mars and Gemini is your handle. So what that means is you've gotten by all these things throughout your life by being a jack of all trades. That's how you've gotten by. Well, you got this part that wants to be a flamboyant Leo. Well, most Leos I walked in their house, they got great big leaves painted all over the place and big moo-moo on, and it's just very flamboyant. And you go to Capricorn's house, and it's all old barn wood that's gray and brown and green, and and it's really earthy, and it's so earthy that you feel like you're dying. I've seen several of those. I had a friend who's Capricorn Virgo in their marriage, and I'd walk in their house and it was like, oh my God, would you put some color in this house? Great people. Actually, she started me into astrology 190 years ago. So with those things in your birth chart, we have to find them in the past life chart, because Liza and I got on this kick about maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. We started asking each other, well, why are these charts the way they are? Why? It's not just God rolling the dice. It comes from the past life chart. So we call that the 12th harmonic. 12 is the number of Pisces, and Pisces has to deal with past lives. And I've since relabeled that. It's not a past life chart. I now call it the spiritual transcript. Okay. Now, here we go. Here it is. This is the spiritual transcript chart. To explain to you what it is, this is what I have proven to myself. No astrologer uses this. Very rare. And I'm really on to something, and I think it's really valid. This is the chart that is a summary or overall overview of many of your past lives in general, pertaining to one thing. Are you going closer to God, or are you going away? The more we get into the ego and into being separate, the more we go away from God. And the more we give it up and we go back to God, the more we start feeling inclusive, etc. Which is why Neptune says nothing matters. Okay. Do you understand me?
Yes.
All right. In your past life history, and then we're really seeing the difference here. I saw this earlier when Liza and I were talking about it. Here you come up in the 9th house of philosophy, and you got Jupiter, Mercury, and the moon in Capricorn. And that means you're going to study the old-fashioned way of doing things and what the Bible says in their transcript, and what the books say. You do it the way the old people did it, sort of like old Judaism. Then you look at your ascendant, and you got Mars in Aries. This is a woman that's just sitting there revving the gas pedal. Gas, ready to go. This ain't going anywhere. You're not going anywhere with this. This is, you got to put an application in triplicate and wait 6 months to get your answer. So we got this wild, aggressive, dynamic woman that wants to go, but she's got this overall mentality that's really, really careful. There's no judgment. We're just looking. Then we look over here. Here's another T-square that's going to a powerful Sun, Saturn in Virgo, 1 degree apart. The Saturn's retrograde, and it's with the Sun, and it's in Virgo. This means you ain't doing nothing unless you do it exactly right. And you call Teresa and make sure she's doing it right at the same time you're doing it right. So you see what's happening? You got this very rigid, you got to do things exactly right. And this also means that when you have to fill out paperwork, when you're selling houses and stuff, that you're very good with this. You're very thorough. You get the job done, okay? And this is very much in sync with that. This means when you go to school, you're not going to study anything new. You're going to study the old classics, okay? And this guy just says, what the hell with all of you? I just want to go. Give me my gas pedal. So we see that through your past lives, you were probably a scholar. You were probably a teacher, maybe a professor of some type. I don't know. You were perfectionistic. You were known for how good and exacting your work was. But it really, you know how you see the old time paintings and everything's a picture of Jesus and Mary's lap? They're just all the same. The Uffizi gallery, they're all Jesus in her lap. They were so constricted. You couldn't fly. You couldn't try other things. This Mars doesn't want to follow suit. So you take this chart and you verbalize this chart in 1958 with your spirit guides, and you talk about, well, what do I need to do in this next lifetime? What lessons should I learn? I've got these abilities. This is my past history. But when you start to design your life and you've picked ahead of time what minute you'll be born, what minute you will die, how you will die, who's going to be in your soul group that does all this. It says, where's that Mars going to fit in? How does that Mars fit in? And the reason you adjust all these things and the reason your chart is the way it is because you want to make sure, Saturn, you want to make sure that if you fix these things, Tracy, you're going to get into pearly gates. And I got onto this several years ago, and it's explained everything. Then in the last couple of years, I did something even better, and I really am pleased with it. I realized there aren't any pearly gates, and there's nothing you have to do. You don't have to fix anything. It's all jive. It's all junk we've been taught. And look at what about the parents of these 200,000 French kids that got molested in the French churches? Do you not think the Catholic Church is falling apart? Thank God. I'm all for Jesus and what Jesus said, treating each other right, but I'm not for what they did with it. Okay, so you see your past life history is you've been taught, whatever reason, to follow the line, to follow the book, okay, and do it the way the old timers did it. And this is why you probably watch some old movies like El Cid, or you watch some old historical movies, and you have kind of a fascination with the court and all that, but you also got this fascination with these wild people that want to just go do their thing. So what I've discovered, and I've brought it to this show clearly in the last year, is there are no pearly gates. There is no heaven. There is no hell. This is heaven at all times, unless we don't appreciate it. And there's nothing you have to do. And there's nothing you have to fix. That's where you're at now, realizing that you don't have to fix anything. So what's happening is the collective is teaching us all, and the collective is teaching you right now that there's nothing you got to do, and you got so much freedom that's scaring the hell out of you. That's what's going on. Here's why. Huh?
Pretty much.
Okay, but here's the reason why. Watch this. All right. In your birth chart, Tracy, I want to look at something that's easily overlooked. You have Mercury at 24 Cancer, which is a very careful way of thinking because you won't hurt anybody's feelings. It's opposite the moon in Capricorn, which is a very careful way of being. So everybody's being real careful, okay? But it's Mercury opposite the moon. What does that mean? Well, watch this. What's one of the features of solar fire? I click on the Mercury and I click on the moon, and it says, you struggle to make decisions in your life, unsure whether to follow your feelings or your thoughts, in your heart or your head. That means you doubt yourself much of the time, and you need to find a balance of the two. That's exactly what that means. So, and that orb is really close. In other words, they're really numerically right opposite each other, like a tight guitar string. What that means is you've had a tendency all your life that you think about the problem that you have, then you feel what you'd like to do, but then you think about what you'd like to do, and then you feel what you'd like to do. Then you come up and you resolve, and damn it, I'm going to make the logical decision. And every single time you trash it, come back and make the emotional one. Every time you come back and make the decision to make you emotionally safe. The moon wins. And when the moon wins, the moon is always hung up on being abandoned and is making the safe choice. Okay. Now we're getting to the point. What people really mean, I believe, when they say they're stuck, is they're saying that I'm seeing a fork in the road, and they're saying, I just don't know what to do. Or better yet, they see 99 steps going up to heaven. And they're going to start on step 1 and step 2 and step 3. And you are in what's called the Capricorn Trap. And I know all about this trap. The Capricorn trap is I'm going to go up step 1, I'm going to go up step 2, step 5. I'm not going any further. Why? Because I don't know if step 99 is there. Maybe 97, 96. They're not there. And I'm not going all that way, only to find that out. So you end up choosing paralysis. You end up choosing paralysis, i.e. stuck. Instead, go up 70. Oh, 71's missing. So you jump to 73. And you keep on going. Then you hit the 90 and the next 10 are out. Oh, you really got a problem. Okay, so you go back down and you go up some other trail. That's the problem with Capricorn. It's you. Capricorn is built to make sure, and that's the beauty of Capricorn. You've got those energies in you, and that's one of the reasons people hire you with houses and stuff. They know for sure you're going to close it right. You're just going to get it done right. You're dependable. But there comes a time when you got to get back to your essence, and your essence is Leo, and the Leo sun needs to guide you, and the sun is insulted if you doubt its accuracy. The sun is going to win just by virtue of being the main planet, full of life energies, and life energies always win, and they certainly don't win if they're choked. That's what's happening. So what's happening in your chart now that Pluto's hitting it and Eris is hitting these main planets, is you've had enough. And you need to find your own way to talk to these planets and say, I've got faith in the sun. I mean, if you don't have faith in the sun, what can you have faith in? What would it be like for us to get up in the morning and the sun is out? I mean, out, black. Well, pretty much everything goes to pot real fast. But I mean, the surest bet in Vegas, the surest bet is that the sun will shine tomorrow. So when we tie this in with your past lifetime, do you see how this all works? When we tie it into your past lifetime, what we see is whoever was around you, judges, parents, teachers, mayors, I don't know, chiefs, I don't know. I don't get into your past life was in a tribe in Nebraska. I don't do that stuff. Your past lives, it's not that somebody else was wrong around you. It was you. It was you decided from what all the stuff people were telling you, and it's probably because you were so obedient to a good way. There's nobody more obedient than Capricorn. You decided to be very, very careful. I'm not studying this new junk. I'm going to study all the old successful books. I'm going to do everything exactly right. The measuring tape, right? Mars is sitting over on the ascendant saying, hell with this stuff. Let's just go. Let's go. So you create a birth chart that's got a mixture of both in it. It's got a mixture of this Leo dynamic, because when you're being creative, there's nothing that can stop you.
That's right.
Because you're using what Hawkins talks about, the force versus power versus force. Thank you, Liza. She always uses the right word when I'm missing it. Power versus force. Force is, I'm just going to force stuff like most Americans do. Might makes right. We'll force these damn walls down at Congress. Versus power. Power is God and the sea. The intelligence inherent in the sea. And when the sea is driving you, you can't fail. So what has happened with you is you're now at that peak. You're now at that turning point. Now let's take a look at your recent birthday chart. Isn't astrology just amazing? It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievably accurate. How come I don't have 50 million viewers because I don't want them. That's why. Okay, here's your solar return of your recent birthday, and it's a really amazing chart. This chart is very accurate. This is a chart of your current birthday, and look at everything is sending all of its energy to Uranus at the top of the chart. And that means I'm going to do my thing. Look out. That's what it means. Uranus being at the top of the chart since your birthday is, am I living my life according to being Tracy? Am I being Tracy, or am I being real careful, Tracy? Well, listen to me closely here. It's very important. The real careful Tracy has done her job. She was needed at a time. She will harm you now. You're done with her. You're past it. You need it for whatever reason. Now, see this with a lot of people, Tracy. You needed to be real careful. Watch each step. It happens to most people I'm seeing in their mid-60s, early 60s. And then they just throw it away, and then they get on that motorcycle with the helmet, or maybe no helmet, and they get that Mars going. And they start going, and they start re-adventuring with their birthright, their sun in Leo, their sun in Aries. Now, does this make sense to you?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, now I would like to hear, since I got such a big mouth, I would like to hear, Becky, don't say anything. She zipped it. I would like to hear your interpretation, your regurgitation of what I said, because it's really important.
So I want to be larger than life.
You are larger than
I
life.
am larger than life, but something has held me back and has kept me in a spot of fear,
Right.
which is absolutely true. And the Capricorn, I'm also a project manager. So that makes perfect sense as far as, lining everything up.
Getting the job done.
Getting the job done.
Right.
I think there's just a lot of conflict going on internally with me. And you're right. I have come to this point knowing that something's got to change. Something has to give. And, I guess that's why I'm here.
It's definitely why you're here. And Cancer planets and Capricorn planets, they got a job to do in the zodiac. And unfortunately, one of their side effects is over caution. And they're really good at making sure it gets done. But you can't go down the rapids in your rubber raft and make sure where you're going. You can't do it. I've been with you before. It's been a long time, but you do have a sense of being bigger than life. You're big. You're a big person. I mean, you can just sense your heart, your mind is expansive. So what I think Pluto sitting on that moon at 24 degrees Capricorn, you're going through a totally shut all systems down. We're not going to do a software update. We're going to replace all the software. I used to do this at colleges. I'd shut them down on a Friday, bring them back up on Monday, and it's a whole new software with all the data there. Big deal. You're not ready for a software update. That's minor. We're talking about a software complete change. Go ahead.
When is Pluto moving forward or
Pluto is going back and forth slowly. It's going to be on here at least a year. It's been there at least a year already. It's going to stay on there for another year. It's not in any hurry. And Eris is even slower. So you don't have to worry about them, and you don't even have to worry about their dark side, because all you need to be concerned with is that you're trying. And I know what I'm talking about. If you don't try, you're going to get some health problems. You're going to get scared in lots of ways. But if you're trying, and what do I mean by trying? What I mean by trying is people have these big boulders in their road. And they can't see what they want to, they can't see their direction because the boulder's there. And the poor Liza has to hear this for the 50th time. But the boulder does not have to be moved off the road until you, so that you can see. Doesn't have to be that way. All you got to do is wiggle it. Get a couple people to help you to wiggle it. Get the willingness to wiggle it. And once it starts moving a little bit, all of a sudden, stuff starts coming around there. Ooh, what's that about building houses? Ooh, look at that website. Look at that. And it starts to happen. Because what happens if you don't do that, and if you let that boulder stay there, it keeps you in what's called mythical pseudo safety.
Right.
It ain't real safety. It ain't real. And it doesn't match your heart. Doesn't match that Mars in the past life. Now, here's what's really intriguing. This is wonderful. I did this 2 weeks ago. We're now going to look in your past life chart, which is the chart that has the shackles around your ankles. You're being slowed down. Something stopped me in my life. It wasn't your parents. It was past life stuff. And you probably had really good reasons to be careful, because before you took a step, you probably got your foot cut off. Something happened to you. It was not simple. You have reasons for your fears. But what's happening now, and I will guarantee before we even look, we're going to see your shackles are being taken off in the 12th harmonic. We're going to see the past life chart is being dismantled. The shackles are being taken off. And I'm talking about you're going to wake up very soon and they're not going to be there. And you're going to be free and you're going to be scared to death.
Right.
No, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. It's just not simple the first day. So we go back into the chart. We go into the 12th harmonic, and here it is. And what do you see at the midheaven? The 4 angles in astrology are everything. 24 Capricorn, 24 Aries, 24 Cancer, 24 Libra. I rest my case. Pluto's sitting on the angle. Eris is sitting on that angle. Your entire past life structure is being dismantled, which means it's over. And it had its purpose. And it got you here. A lot of people didn't make it here. And people are evolving like crazy. Now, another thing I want you to know, that's a major symbol that your chains are just being obliterated. Now, I know through talking to many Leahs, it's shocking to me how they all say, I want to be creative. That's how burning fire that sun is. But with the givens that we have in the world, with all the climate change problems and all the other political idiotic problems we're having, there's very likely to be a part of you that's going to want to rise above doing houses and fixing houses, that's going to want to get involved at a deeper, higher level. Do you understand me?
Yes.
That's what I call a meta level. In other words, I have lots of people come to me that want to learn to do healing. Well, they're not only good healers, but with these planets that's on them right now, they want to teach the teachers. Linda Jordan, she's not just a great English professor, she needs to be teaching other English professors. And she knows I'm right. She needs to teach them on how to teach. And teach them how to quit teaching the way they've been teaching, so they don't have it right. She's got it right, in essence. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? What do you think?
Well, I'm a little confused as to, if you see me as a teacher, what I am teaching or what I am, I
Okay.
don't know where it is. It is that boulder that's in front of me.
It's that boulder that seems to be there. Now let's have some fun. Okay, watch this. This is one of the neat things I do that I just developed one day. It's kind of fun. Imagine we got the professor there. Look at Dr. John Hayes up there. We're going to imagine we're all on Gilligan's Island. And we know what part John's going to play. And I think we know what part I'm going to play. Oh, God. Okay, you're on Gilligan's Island. Okay, mythically.
Okay.
And you can have a bigger Gilligan's Island if you want. What part would you play on that island?
Ginger.
Okay, well, naturally you'd be Ginger. That makes sense. Okay, let's pick that. That was a dumb question. Yeah, you'd definitely be Ginger. Okay, on a bigger island, we will have many, many jobs and people are doing many, many different things. And there's all these huts and stuff. What do you think you would enjoy doing? What would you have to give to that community?
I don't know. I mean, that's structure. I'm thinking, structure and direction, and I don't know. I'd be the boss of something.
So like a foreman.
Like a foreman,
Or
yeah.
a forewoman. Okay.
Yeah.
Helping to build homes and streets and all that.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, there seems to be there's some close alliance between that and what this group was you were talking about earlier. It's out there, but it ain't in real estate in Pittsburgh.
Right.
There's your answer. Now, you do not have to do something tomorrow because you have taken a major, major leap today. Ask Teresa. Because you have come face to face with your stuff. And your stuff's not easy. Because you came into and you convinced the angels, your guardian angels, you convinced them in this lifetime that you needed to continue to be so careful. Because of what happened. I don't know what happened. Whatever happened, it happened, and it's probably sucked and it probably was dangerous and debilitating. But now is the time, and that's the biggest factor in astrology. The number one factor in astrology is, do you trust?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing that the Pisces have. They have trust and they have faith. Faith and belief.
This is the first time that I've heard that I have Pisces. I know that Neptune is.
Well, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So there, to say it properly, you are a Leo that's very Neptunian. And when you are Neptunian, you may as well say that you're Piscean.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're very Piscean. I've seen it from the beginning. You're very smooth. You're not this loud, brash Leo. You've always had a smooth, ladylike quality to you, kind of flowing. Yes, that's the Neptune. Now, don't belittle the Capricorn. The Capricorn's really strong in your chart. And if there's anything that's going to make you successful, it will be the Capricorn energies because it's solid like a rock. But what happens at this time, and it's just happening, I can't even talk fast enough. You ought to see my schedule. It's unbelievable how many readings I'm doing because people are sensing this. Just like Teresa sensed it last night. And we'll hope for somebody to come forward next week to do the same thing. This is why I've stopped doing what I'm doing and just gone to this because it's so instructive and it's necessary.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm telling you, and this is what I know for certain, just get the boulder rocking. Be willing to get the boulder rocking. You're not going to get it all the way off the road. And the more you get it to rock, the more you're going to start seeing, oh, wow, look at that. And you're going to see all these wonderful sides to yourself that you just forgot about. Sibley, well, it's not Sibley. Shaky? It's not Shaky. What's your cat's name?
Shelby,
Shelby.
he and the other black one are racing around the room. You've got them all revved up.
I know where
They're not stuck at all.
she always comes to see me and she's not stuck. Shelby. Okay. So where you go from here, Tracy, the number one, I'll give you my number one answer and you can take it for what it's worth. In my opinion, you don't have any ability to direct yourself. Nobody does. You give it all up. You give it all up and you say, if it's the Course in Miracles or if it's the Bible or whatever, I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of got an idea, but I'm giving it to you and I'm waiting for your direction, for you to give me direction. Please show me another way to look at this. Then all of a sudden it just starts happening. It happens not because you're daring enough to go do it. It happens because you're daring enough to let go of the junk. That's what makes it happen. Letting go of the old junk, letting go of the wrong kind of boyfriend, letting go of the wrong kind of movies, the wrong kind of car, whatever it is. Now let's talk a little bit about, in general, what is the relationship with you and your family that you grew up with?
Well, most of them are deceased. I'm the youngest of 6. My sister is alive, but not doing well mentally.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I have 2 stepbrothers, but they're estranged. And that's it.
I'm sorry to hear that. Your sister is what sign?
Taurus.
Well, Taurus can be really tough because they won't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
They just listen to they live in a small world and they think they got it all figured out and they think you're nuts if you come in with another idea. Okay, let's take a look at another chart. We were looking at this earlier. We could not make much headway with it. Your 6th harmonic. This is your destiny chart. This is the chart that shows you what you should be doing, where you should be going. And this is not easy. It's not simple. And I'll tell you what it says, and it's really a tough chart to interpret. Okay. Before I get there, I want to tell you one more thing.
Okay.
We'll go back to there. When I have taught people about life direction, people say, oh, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I want to be a shipbuilder. Finally get it out of them. People are reluctant to say it, even to themselves, because they're embarrassed. But Neptune people say, I don't know, and they really mean they don't know because they don't know. This is what I have learned, what I think is true. I think, therefore, Neptune people, what do you want to do? And they say, I don't know. I think that's what they mean, and that's what it is. That's what it is. And the reason it's that way is because God made you as a generalist, not a specialist. You're not made as a specialist. You're made as a generalist, which means God knows, I'll use the male term for now, or she, doesn't matter. When she puts you in a situation, goddess, she knows that you're going to do the right thing because you have Neptune in your heart. And having Neptune in your heart simply means you're going to think about the love for everybody there. It's that simple. What's wrong with the planet? We don't have enough Neptune. We don't have enough love between people. It's that simple. Who did that shock? Nobody. So that's one thing you may want to consider. If you really have trouble locking it down and identifying, which means just do what you want to do. And God will put you in continual situations where you're going to do the right thing just because you have the right heart.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen that to be true, quite true. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty accurate. I think, I know what I have fun doing and like doing with, painting and building and, if I had to do it over again, I'd probably be an architect.
Wonderful. Perfect. That would
I
really
mean-
match with your Virgo for your Virgo stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, at this stage, I'm not going to be that. So I'm,
Well, maybe you
doing-
can't be an architect, but maybe you can be an architect of something
right.
on some scale. Let's go to your sixth harmonic. We're okay. This is what I call the life's journey, the hero's journey. Look at your sun, symbolic of Leo, right opposite Saturn retrograde. So in your sixth harmonic, you get sun opposite Saturn. That means that you're somebody that's good being a physical foreman, being a physical leader, being a physical director, as opposed to the Leos who are like sound mixers or painters. This is somebody who's a builder. Again, we see a T-square. Where's this T-square go? To Chiron, to Eris in Gemini. What does that mean? Here she is again. The sun is in Gemini. Here she is again. This is a jack of all trades. This is a person who can just do all kinds of things. So I think we've got simplicity here. We're seeing that through whatever you did in the past, you have emerged to be just a Jacqueline of all trades. You just have all these different abilities. And therefore, I think it would hurt you and not help you to narrow it down to one. You're
Okay.
kind of a generalist builder. Now, what questions might you have?
Is there a timeline moving forward where things are going to start changing? I listen to all sorts of people on YouTube and it's after for some reason, the 18th of this month stands out that things are going to start moving.
Well, remember, we're walking straight into our Pluto return as a country in February. I mean, Pluto has gone completely around the sun and it's going to return to the same spot in February where it was in 1776. I wouldn't give it any thought or consideration whatsoever. None. You just worry about, in my opinion, like I told Teresa, you worry about letting go of the junk.
Okay.
The other will just happen. It will. I have so many people that I talk to. I get such a kick out of because they tell me, "Oh, things are just going great here. You wouldn't believe a new car and all this." And I'll say, "What'd you do yesterday?" They say, "Nothing." I'll say, "What'd you do last week?" And they say, "Nothing." Then they go, "Oh, yeah. I broke up with that chick. The one I was having all the trouble with." Really? You told me you did nothing. There's nothing worse in astrology than stopping the flow by holding on to stuff. And therefore, you've already one step ahead of me. You've already cleaned your basement.
I did yesterday.
See?
Yesterday, it's 100% true.
See? That's how it works. And I tell people the other story, that when's my guy going to come? Well, the planets don't say the guy's coming on Friday. They don't say that. When's my guy going to come? Well, it's like you have a aircraft carrier and you get all this junk on there. And the guy's trying to come and he can't get there because he can't land. So he has to go back up and hover around and wait for you and wait for you and wait for you. Comes back down the junk still, they can't land. It's going to run out of gas. And you finally figure out, let's just dump all this junk in the sea, get a nice even lane for the plane to land. And that's how it works. That's how it works in astrology. That's how you get the right one. Because when you're holding on to your junk, you're going to get the wrong one. You're going to get another codependent mess that you're pulling your hair out and you can't get rid of it. And we've learned 100% clarity. Get rid of your junk, dump your junk. He'll take it. He will take it. She will take it.
Awesome.
And then I've got so many stories that are unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like somebody's looking over his shoulder watching. Oh, yesterday I told my boss off and I quit. You did? Is that where you got that new car? That new house? That's just how it works. When you're blocked, the life force can't get to you. Blue heart that. Blue heart that. From Ray, whatever that means. Blue heart that. So she wrote. So tell me what you think. I've abused you for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't see it as abuse.
I'm just kidding.
I think you're spot on. I think I've been blocked and in fear for a couple years now.
Mhm.
And, I'm certainly ready to move forward.
Well, I think if you stop and you're honest with yourself, I think that fear and that hesitation, I think it had its place. And I think if you had moved forward, it would not have worked. It would have backfired on you. Your health would have gone, or your money would have gone, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I think you're simply done. The main thing about astrology is it's a map and it's a calendar of a person's readiness. That's what it is.
You
I
haven't
mean,
mentioned-
I've been trying to define this for years. It's what it is, a map and a calendar of your readiness. And you're ready.
I am.
You should get Teresa's phone number and then you both could talk about, well, what are you doing? Well, calm down. This is what I'm doing. Well, what are you doing?
You didn't mention anything about Scorpio, which is my rising.
Uh-huh.
Does that, does that play into anything? or-
Well, the Scorpio rising certainly is significant, but the fact that Pluto is so strong right now, see, astrologers use Pluto and Scorpio one and the same. Pluto is the planet that rules Scorpio.
Okay.
Because Pluto is sitting on all 12 of your angles in your sixth harmonic, and it's sitting on your moon exactly in your natal chart. I don't think we have to mention the Scorpio energy. We're looking at the Plutonian side of it.
Okay.
Pluto is the energy that makes you from inside. It just makes you fed up. And what does it make you fed up with? It makes you fed up if you've not had the courage. And this is why people have such hard time during Pluto times. Is it seems like the outer world is dumping on them or attacking them and all this stuff. Well, what's really happening is the insides are attacking. The insides are just telling you, quit throwing me to the side. I keep telling you, I keep bringing you your courage and you don't own it. And I keep bringing it to you. That's what's happening in America, and people don't want it. What are people saying? What is she thumbs up doing one? I don't know what you guys are talking about that they're texting each other, but you guys have fun there.
He said something about Mars in my eighth.
Who
In
did?
the comments, it just flashed. Was it Ray? Is there?
Oh, okay. Mars in the eighth. Okay. The point is this. What's happening in the USA now, it's happening worldwide now, is people naturally want to climb aboard their little pony and head out of town. And being a Cancer country, we think we can get away with this. And the times are such, and we've butchered this planet so badly that riding around on the fields on little ponies is not going to work anymore. And we're being required to get up on the horse and get rid of the pony. It's that simple. It's that simple. Look around you. You see on the news, everybody's fighting and blaming each other and all this stuff. You see all that going on? Well, have you gotten on a horse and tried to plow? That's all you got to ask yourself. Same with me. Have I gotten on a horse and tried to plow? The answer is no. Well, I'm starting to learn how to get on the horse and plow. And only that's going to save the planet. It's that simple. We're in a lot of trouble. I don't have to tell you. We're in a lot of trouble. So I don't know what it was, but I can guarantee you in your past, something scared the hell out of you. Something failed. Something probably killed you. I don't know what it is. But something was worthy of you to be so careful. And you did it, and you were careful. And you probably were surrounded by people that were careful. But now it's over. It's just over. And now you're ready. So don't get all despondent when you can't find the exact thing to do. Just when you're trying to go forward, you can't find it, find another bag to throw out. The more junk you throw out, the more that rock's going to move, and the more you're going to see your way. Okay?
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions about the charts or statements about the charts? Do you see what's happening? Tracy, any questions are fine.
I mean, I think the only other thing that I thought of was like moving forward. Like I had asked, when are things going to start shifting? When are these planets going to?
Okay, there are no things. Okay, there are no things out there.
Okay.
Things are going to move when you get the boulder out of your way. You see, your Mars is on the ascendant. You saw your solar return for next year. Uranus is on the top of the chart. Fanatical. Let's go. Let's go. Uranus is on the top of your chart. It wants to go. Well, it can't go with the boulder there.
Okay.
And you don't have to move the whole boulder. Just start getting it to move, I'm saying. Got it?
Yep.
Did you have a question, Linda? Asking you to unmute.
I just feel sort of compelled to say this. I think Tracy knows what she wants, but is still not able to say so. And even if all you say to yourself every day is I'm going to build things. I'm going to build things. Just keep saying, 'cause people used to tell me when I went to grad school, for the PhD, that I wasn't going to get a job, that I was too old. They told me 9,000 things. And I said, this is what I said. I'm going to be the director of college writing in a small Catholic college in Allegheny County. And there was only two schools. I mean, I had a very narrow job idea, but I told everybody that's what I wanted to do. And what did I do? I got exactly what I wanted. But if you don't put what you want into the universe, you can't get it. So it's not like anything's going to change out there. What you have to do is, and you don't have to know it as specifically as I did, because I don't know how I knew that very specifically, but I was quite clear about it. But even if you just want to say, I don't want to sell real estate anymore, I want to build things. And then start telling other people that this is what you want. And then, then some door will open. It'll be miraculous. It'll look miraculous. It always looks miraculous to other people from the outside, but you'll know that just was a.
And the way you do that is you start hanging around with people that are building things.
Right.
Yep.
I'm sure as a real estate person, contractors and builders and.
Oh, I do. I'm part of a group, real estate investors, and I'm there. I'm just not there.
Well, you're very close, and the thing that you need to remember, amongst the others, this tape will be on YouTube tonight. Do it big. You're not there to just do it. You're there to do it big. You're a Leo, by God. I wish I had some of that sunshine. Do it big. Get in with these people with tiny brains that are whispering to each other and say, look, hey, let's do it big. Let's do 150 houses. That's where your talent and your skill is.
Well, the other thing is that I don't think Tracy understands, and I don't know how I know this, but there's somebody out there who needs her.
Of course.
Who needs her skill set. And
Exactly.
and when you hold back from that, then there's somebody else that isn't getting what they need.
You're exactly right. And now it's time to take our report from the Northwest and see if she's still, what the hell's going on in the Northwest, dear? And ask Susan, where are you now, dear?
I'm in Florence, Oregon.
Okay, Flora, are you going to go to Crater Lake?
Hadn't planned on it.
Oh my God, you got to go to Crater Lake. It's unbelievable.
Okay,
Unbelievable.
okay.
It's the deepest, clearest water in the world.
Oh,
It's
sounds good.
unbelievable. It's a little ridge. It goes around the top, the volcano top. It's at the very southern part. So where are you?
I'm in Florence,
What are you
Florence.
doing? What are you doing in Florence, Oregon?
enjoying the Pacific Ocean.
Oh boy, you painting?
Yeah, I am. But
Well,
I just got here a couple of hours ago and got set up and tuned in. I was lucky I got a good signal.
And you're only 6:30. Hey, show us one of your paintings before we go off.
Oh,
You got any?
well, I've been working on a portrait most recently.
Oh,
it's,
wow.
Only partly completed. I've just really begun the watercolor.
Well, you're terrific.
Thank you.
You really are, Becky. I saw your message. I'll respond to it once I get logged off and start putting us all on YouTube next couple hours. Thanks, everybody. If you know
Thank you,
somebody,
Rick.
you're welcome, honey.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Tracy.
If you know somebody who's sincere about filling stock and they got a birth time, have them get hold of me because I'll continue working with people. But we're very glad to help, and call me if you need any clarifications. This will be on YouTube for the world to see in a couple hours. Okay?
Okay.
Tracy, call me.
Good night, everybody.
Good to see you,
Thank you.
Elkie. Glad you're here.
Yeah. Hi, Elkie.
Bye,
Hi and
everybody.
bye.
Bye and bye.
Good to see you guys too. Bye.
Bye.